This is a video on saving Emily, that ugly little gal over there, missing her discharge chute. It's got a short, at least a shortened pull cord on it. It may be full length, but often when they're like that, when I get them, they've been cut down by previous owners, several of them. Probably. But before we get started on her and get her up on the operating table, I thought I'd show you what I'm working on today. In one of my prior videos, I had another little mower with a pjet carburetor on it and tank, and I put on two that didn't prime well, so I've gone back and repaired those. And this one, I think I just took it off another mower that was not salvageable, and I assumed that the tank and everything was okay because it looked so nice. But somebody had gone in and installed the diaphragm and carburetor, and it just didn't work. I've heard of people doing this, but I don't recommend it. And that's where you put on two gaskets, but you kind of sandwich them, and I do not recommend that. And this one would not prime until I went in and corrected that. So I put the so in this case, the rule is that you want the diaphragm touching the tank, and you want the gasket up top touching the carburetor. And so they had a gasket touching the tank, and then the diaphragm, and then another gasket touching the carburetor. And it just didn't prime. So I took it all apart, and it looked fine in terms of the condition and everything. So I just took the diaphragm off and had it touch the tank as it is supposed to correctly, and then put the two gaskets on top. If I remember right, that's what I did. I think I used the two gaskets on top. Maybe I just did one. I don't know. I did it yesterday. And the one reason I can't remember is I worked on this one too. And so this one primes perfectly now, and has gasoline in it. And I always like to label things so you can see I've got that one labeled. The other one I used in the prior video that didn't prime now primes perfectly, and I have tested it with kerosene. That's one of my favorite things to do. And instead of switching gas back and forth, I use kerosene because I may not use this for a month or two, and kerosene seems to sit well on these gaskets and these diaphragms, and kind of keeps them lubricated and soft. And then when you do put gas in them, they work great. And so this is my little jar of kerosene. I'll pour that in there and test it to make sure it primes with the kerosene. And then I pour the kerosene out, I filter it, and then I'll use this again in the future. And so this one's ready to install, and this one's ready to install, and actually has gas in it. Now this is really for a later model jet, so I think I'll probably set this one aside and maybe get the gas out of it and put it one that's more from that time period. As you can see, this one is an older one, and the tip off, as you can tell, is the gas cap is metal. So this is definitely an older one. Some of the other things you guys might notice about this mower is the air filter housing is on in the reverse position. So I'm going to spin this around so that it does go, so the little triangle point is back here, because it fits right in that notch real nicely. And the other thing you can tell is at some point the cable rusted out, and they were using a piece of string on the spark plug wire, and you pull that off and take the spark away and shut it off that way. I haven't really done anything with this mower. It may not even be salvageable. I have no idea. I'm just showing you the kind of stuff that comes in that I work with. This I've never seen before. This is a homemade bail to take the engine brake off, which is what these do. When you hold the bail down, it takes the engine brake off and opens the kill switch so the spark is delivered to the combustion chamber. Then when you let the bale go, the brake goes on and the kill switch is engaged and takes the spark away. But I've never seen this big old piece of metal here on the side, so I'm going to work with that. So let's get this guy up on the table, but first I've got to clear this out of the way. So let me get this off to the side. And mostly out of the way. And clear a spot for this mower. The kerosene can go over there. That's mud. Anyway, just bear with me here while I clear this off. Here's an old funky tank. I have enough room to work at least. I think that's cleared enough off. So we're going to get this thing up here, and first of all, look underneath it, because when I brought this home in my truck, I found a blade attachment screw laying in the bed of the truck. So it may not even have a blade on it, but we'll check that. Maybe it does. Don't know. It may have come from another mower. Okay. So Emily, the little 22-inch bolens pulse jet mower with no discharge chute and a string to pull to shut her off, and possibly a short cord, is ready to be worked on. So let me set this down, and we're going to go from beginning to end with Emily. So you'll get to see the whole process if I can get this gal running. And I promise I'll try and do better at talking to the camera. I've noticed I fade away when I come over here and look at the mowers. I fade away. My voice fades away because I'm not speaking loud enough. So I'll be yelling, I guess, to make sure that you get the value out of this thing. Okay, I see a blade under there, so that's nice. Let's see if it's bent or not. One of the first steps to see. There might be a hint of damage that this mower took. And of course, we're always looking for wildlife, wasp nests. Let me get my flashlight. Black widows. I was joking with my son the other day that my average for spider bites is one spider bite about every 3 days now. Okay, so this really doesn't look too bad. I'm sure that, okay, maybe not, I think. So let's see. Let me take the plug off. The spark plug wire is off. And let's see, if we've got compression. Oh yeah, we do, got compression. And looking to see if there's any wobble in that screw right there. If that screw doesn't just spin like a rifle bullet, just straight. If it starts doing this at all, that means you have a bent crankshaft. I'm going to look at that. Well, I'm excited. I think it looks okay. So I don't think there's a bent crankshaft. The blade looks, old or rusty, but it can probably be cleaned up and sharpened up. It's not missing a bunch of metal or anything. So we've checked that. I think maybe the thing to do now is to get it back down on the table and see what the deal is with this pull cord. First, I'm going to get the engine brake and check that engine brake out. So I got to get the 1/4 inch for that. me show you what I'm doing here. Maybe I'll do this with one hand. So we're looking under here to make sure the kill switch is operating as it should. Oops, wrong way. 1/4 inch there. I don't see any weird wildlife under there. A bunch of leaves and trash. Let me get a toothbrush. There's one. Okay, I just want to see what's going on here. So, okay, so that is actually clear. It's not touching, so that actually would start there, which surprises me. But the engine brake, yeah, the engine brake is off. That's why it was so easy to turn. So maybe this ugly thing is actually working. Let me see if I can get that off. Might be better just using a knife or a box cutter, so let's try that. Get this old nasty thing off. Yeah, that's not working. Let me see if it unties. Well, let me just slide it down for now. Okay, so there we go. Now, so I'm going to ease this up. I assume that's how it goes. Let's see. Yeah, there's no tension on that at all. Yeah, so that's got nothing to do with it. So that's going to come off. That's why he had that. That's why he had that string attached to the spark plug. He was using that, not this. All right, so let me put the phone down again. I'm going to go ahead and get that spring off. And as I mentioned before, I make a tool for that. This is just some strong wire and a handle from a mower or